All right, we'll see if anybody shows up. All right, well, I got one. Who is that? I probably know who that is. Alrighty. I figured. Well, this is, if anybody else shows up, this is just going to be a bit of a rant. So you can probably just, I mean, if you want to, you can, but it won't be anything you're interested in. But I love you. It's just going to be going over hunting gear and stuff like that. So, and just talking and rambling. Okay. Well, I'm just going to sit here and see if anybody else shows up. And watch TV. You can always come down here if you want. Nope, there's somebody else. All right, so I was going to find something on the old TV and then go over some Ice Surfer Cat. You say that, and I joined as soon as you say that. Yeah. All right, so this is just going to be going over hello from the UK, how's life in the States? It could be better. Uh, Charlie Kirk, conservative activist, he got assassinated today in front of his kids, and so it's more and more getting kind of on edge. The politics are kind of taking over people's lives, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. People are batshit crazy, honestly. So it's uh, it's definitely it's definitely not great. I'll be going over some um, hunting gear and stuff like that. I finally paid attention to where my mule deer tag was for, or when it was for, and I was off by 2 weeks. So I've got a little ways to wait. So so it gives me a little bit more time to get going, but it changes the perspective on the area I'm going in. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln is right. Yeah, he okay, Lil. Um to the number 4. I don't know what the number 4 is. I'm sorry. I don't know what the number 4 is. The color white. Give a shout out to the number 4. I have no idea does that mean the fourth person that came in? I have no idea what that means. Um but yeah, so Charlie Kirk got shot and killed, and then you've got the loonies that are saying he deserved it and all that kind of stuff, which nobody deserves that. No child deserves to watch their to lose their parent or a sibling or anybody for that matter, but especially in front of them. That is just sick for somebody to suggest that this dude practicing free speech in this country uh, deserved that. That's just sickening, right? So, but not going to get into that too much anyway. I mean, I think it's important to discuss it because it's one of the problems is people don't want to discuss things anymore. They just want to fight and shoot up stuff and whatever. But anyway, oh yeah, I got brass in my pocket. I shot a little bit. I shot my through it a little bit. So the last live stream I did, I didn't realize you couldn't show guns in the in the live stream. So it got pulled. I didn't realize that. My bad. But so I've got a mule deer tag for Region F in Wyoming. It's a stunning bit of country. So if like from the UK, if you ever come to uh, the United States, northwestern Wyoming around Yellowstone and Teton National Park absolutely has to be on your bucket list for the United States. There's several, but that whole general region is just breathtakingly beautiful. So, so I've got a tag for that area just outside of Yellowstone. It's about where we'll be going is about 3 hours. It's a really gnarly piece of country. It's off of the Chief Joseph Highway, and it's wild. It's just crazy. It's really quite beautiful. But yeah. So the difference is I thought the season started October 1st. It doesn't start till October 15th. So it's a good thing I paid attention to that. And but it changes it dramatically because they close the road November 1st. They get a ton of snow early, like they've already had snow there. Excuse me, and so it changes things a little bit. It's hard to get in and out of. Uh, Let me see here. I'm trying to read this. Give a shout out to. Let me write down. I heard hunting is a must. Are you the one? I'm sorry. I don't know how this works. Oh, from the UK. So yeah, I love hunting. My kids go, I go. I've got a couple buddies that I go with a lot. My son's killed a deer. My daughter's just getting into it. She went turkey hunting, had a turkey in about 30 yards, and I think she liked it. So seemed to have liked it. Yeah, it's outstanding, and you've got some pretty decent hunting in the UK. Roe deer, and you go up in like up into Scotland, you've got red deer. You got red stags and stuff. And yeah, it's phenomenal. It's quite different here. We've got a lot of animals and in abundance. So here where we're at in Virginia, like we've only got a small piece of property, but it's also surrounded by pastures, and we got some woods and stuff. And right now, when I was coming in here, there was 11 deer in our field. Our front field's about an acre, and maybe a little over an acre, and we had 11 deer, and yeah, so they're everywhere. I don't particularly care for white-tailed deer to eat. It's not horrible. It's just not my favorite. And if you've ever had elk, it's way better, like way better. Caribou's better than elk. But we don't really have a lot of elk here in Virginia. They're very, very rare now. I think Kentucky has the biggest elk herd east of the Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Pennsylvania. But yeah, we've got a ton of whitetail though, and so here in the States, we've it's quite a big thing. But so is owning guns, right? so we can basically have almost any gun we want. But anyway, so the hunting, so it's pushing me two weeks. Add a Q&A sticker. I have no idea what that is. So it pushes me 2 weeks forward, or 2 weeks back rather. So yeah, kind of. It's definitely gonna be snowing. It's gonna be colder, harder to get in and out of. Kill something. It's gonna be. It's just gonna be harder all around. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's just a shame on Charlie Kirk. I mean, no child, no spouse deserves to see that go to experience it. Is one thing, to actually witness it go down is just, it's just next level horrid. Um, but yeah, that's just awful, and you've got a lot of people out there that are just very um, I mean, there's no other way to word or no other way to say it, but they're just gross. They're just disgusting, sick individuals saying he deserved it and all this other shit. And that's, nobody deserves that. You know, it's awful. And like here, I don't know if the guy from UK is still here, but we have the Constitution, right? So we've got the freedom of speech, and that university is a publicly funded university. They receive public funds, so it is public property. So you can express your freedom of speech on public property, and nobody like nobody should say, well, I don't want to hear your what you got to say or whatever. I mean, like we were in Portland, Maine during last year during Pride Month, and oh, okay, yeah, cool. And so we were in Portland, Maine during Pride Month last year, and that is an incredibly liberal city. And you had um, not very attractive people running around butt naked on the streets. And we were like, I've got a thing for old records and stuff and old vintage video games, so we're like looking for that kind of stuff. And yeah, you had like these. I mean, it doesn't even matter if they were attractive or not. It's just like not the place for it. But they were running around naked on the streets and stuff and waving their flags and whatever. And I'm all about free speech. You want to celebrate whatever, cool, awesome. But there's a sense of propriety, and I think a lot of that group of individuals lacks that sense of propriety. They think that their their pride overrules that propriety to a degree, and I think it does. But I mean, like, I have my kids with me. There's other kids around. It's one thing. Like, my kids have heard me say every word under the sun. To me, that's one thing. To be running around butt ass naked in a city is, and then and there are like laws in place that restricts me dropping trowel and running around naked. Nobody wants to see that. Um, so saying something and doing something are two very different things, at least from my perspective. So, but yeah, he got killed, and that's just unbelievable. And it's even more unbelievable to think that people are saying that he deserved it and all that nonsense. Nobody deserves that. Nobody's kid deserves that. Nobody's wife deserves. It's just nonsense. So, but anyway, so back to the hunting. So where I'm going, we got potential for long shots. So I'm probably going to take my Win Mag. I've got a little bit more time, so I might be able to get my 7 PRC up here, and hope like Mark and Todd put the work in on that. I really appreciate it. So I don't know, the 300 Win Mag shot awesome yesterday, so at least that's one thing. But I got 12. I got my 12 power binos, my 12x binos. I got my bear spray. And then I carry a 10 millimeter Glock for the backcountry for bears and stuff. Typically, grizzlies don't bother you. They'll now if you leave food in your tent. If you're an idiot and leave food in your tent, yeah, your tent's toast. They'll trash your tent in an instant. But you just don't do that, and you typically don't have a lot of issues. You can put some cayenne pepper around the tent in the camping area, and that might work. I don't know. I know that raccoons and stuff don't like it, so when we have birds nesting in fields and stuff, we'd sprinkle around. And typically, like they get a whiff of that, and they're like, "No, I don't want nothing to do with it." But so I got my hippie mints. So basically, I'm just trying to figure out like where I'm like what I'm going to take. I wasn't going to take my big TP tent with the wood stove and all that other stuff, but I'm thinking probably I might now because the likelihood of getting some serious snow is more likely. A lot of likelies. Um, Take my pack boots now. I wasn't going to take those, but it's 2 weeks and they close it in November. I think November 1st, something like that. They closed that road. They closed that highway going into Yellowstone because it is gnarly. Um, so it'll be a little later in the season. This is what it is. I put in for 6 years for that tag. I think. Yeah, I might have drawn it on my 6th year. Um, so I might go and go elk hunting with my buddy Dan. You know, if he's going to figure out when he's going to go and stuff, and if I can make it work, then I'll probably link up with him and do that. I do love elk hunting, and I love hunting with him. Um, so, but yeah, so I'm going to take my big TP tent. My I got a seek outside wood stove. So my big TP tent is an 8-person Lux Luxe. I don't know if they're still around. They made some pretty decent stuff, like not quite seek outside quality, but pretty decent for the money. And I've got 2 of their tents. Both of them have stove jacks. The one's pretty small, so I don't know. But I I got to find out who all is going to go. If it's just me and Mark, then I'll probably I'll probably just take the small one if we need it, in the stove and everything. But if the other 2 guys are going, then I'll take the big boy, and that way we can all be in the same one. But typically, like I might get up and just go do my own thing, let them have it. I'm a like a light sleeper and stuff anyway. So yeah, so I got a new kind of glassing chair. Um, it's it's pretty cool. I mean, it kind of doubles as a shooting pad. It's made by Crazy Creek. Um, so it kind of allows you to keep your butt up off the ground, and then you can lay it out, and it's not like really long. If you needed a little extra padding for your sleeping pad, it might help out a little bit. But they're not bad. I mean, I used it turkey hunting. It wasn't horrible. Um, I've got a couple things like suggestions that, not that they care about my suggestions, but I think there's a few things that need to be addressed on it. For one, that plastic buckle needs to be changed out to like aluminum or something. But overall, it's pretty decent. I think it's cool. And then always take the Jetboil MSR pocket rocket that I've had for 25 years. I always take gloves, but I'm gonna take my I got OR Firebrands, and I like them pretty well when it gets pretty chilly out. And then the old green wool liners that we used to get issued in the Army. I don't know if they still issue them or not, but I got, and they works really well. And then the old Outdoorsman's pack. It's up there. I mean, in my opinion, they're some of the best packs made. They're pricey and expensive and da 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 da, and people bitch about it. But I fell when in 2019 we were packing out that 5x5 I shot, and it was a nasty pack out. How many we got? Shit, we're down to 2 people. But let's see what else. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, so here, mate. I don't want to be black and white kind of guy, but letting people do whatever comes to mind might be one of the reasons some people go crazy. Whether people agree with it or not, I think some things should just. I don't understand the context. So, like, I guess, I guess in that case, like, let's see here, letting people do whatever thought comes to mind. Well, the response. So I guess like the problem is my problem with that is saying one thing and then getting shot for it is ridiculous. It's disgusting and sick. So personally, I spent most of my adult life, basically all of my adult life in the army, and so I've been called everything there is to be called. I've called people everything there is to be called, and I'm still sitting here, right? Nobody came in and went postal on me. Expressing your free speech is a fundamental right, especially everywhere. It should be everywhere. But in this country, it's ingrained in our constitution. So legally speaking, now granted, he was murdered for it, right? So there's no amount of words or rhetoric or anything that constitutes murdering another individual. Actions are one thing, but saying something is it never constitutes that that level of violence, right? Um, I mean, I if somebody said something to my daughter, yeah, I'd probably beat the brakes off of them, end up in an orange jumpsuit for a little while. That's one thing. Shooting them is something entirely different, right? Killing them in front of their family is uh, is totally different. It at least from my perspective, and that's the most rational I'll ever be as far as that goes. Um, Me personally, I'm 100% constitutionalist. Um, if it's to me, if it's just like the First Amendment to me is the same as the Second Amendment is the same as the Third and the Fourth and so on and so forth. They it, they are guaranteed inalienable rights, and the thing is we take as Americans as a whole. I'm not saying everybody, but Americans as a whole take that for granted every day of their lives because they've got no skin in the game. Somebody else is out there doing the dirty work for them, most of the time, and you know, it's man, I don't know. I like to me, it's hard to fathom. I just don't understand how you can be so weak minded. But there's a lot of that here, and there's a lot of that in the UK. I've got a couple of buddies that live in the UK. One lives down in Surrey, and another one grew up in just north of Manchester, and he said it is awful. It's like a lot of those places is just absolutely horrid, and people are getting locked up for not calling somebody by their pronouns and shit like that. And it's like, hey, I get it. Like, I guess I don't get it, but if you want me to call you, if you're clearly a dude and you want me to call you ma'am, it ain't gonna happen. It's just I'm just not gonna do it. Like you're not fooling anybody, sort of thing. I guess. But I just don't agree with that side of it. But does that mean I get shot because I don't agree with you? Of course not. That's ridiculous. It's no different than you know. I mean, I guess like my thing is hunting is really about it. I don't care if you hunt or not. I don't care if you dislike hunting. I don't care. I don't care. It's not the same thing, but I don't know why can't mind each other. Mind their own damn business. So I'm trying to keep track of who's in and stuff like that. So I'm sorry, I don't see too well anymore. But yeah, to murder somebody in front of I don't know how many thousands of people because you don't agree with what he said, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, he deserved it," and he spewed all this hate and rhetoric and yada. I watched some of the stuff. I mean, granted, I didn't watch all of it, but I never really saw anything. Like, I don't think he hated anybody. I think he disagreed with a lot of people's perspectives on certain things, especially when it comes to like transgender, and I know the dude was pretty religious apparently. I don't, it's like, all right, whatever, like I don't care. Be religious. Then you being religious doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on me. Um, you know, um, I grew up in a pretty not like a crazy religious household, but like a little bit. I mean, we went to church almost every Sunday with my grandma. I hated it, freaking hated it. But that, kind of for other reasons. I wanted to be a ninja. You know, I was in the early '80s, mid '80s, and I stopped kind of believing in God when I had prayed to be him to make me a ninja, and I woke up and I wasn't a ninja, you know. And I never got into it. I know people, when I was in the army, like some people found religion while they were in the military. I wasn't one of them, but I never like faulted them because they went to church on Sundays and stuff. So, but but yeah, it's just a shame, like I know a lot of kids that have grown up without their dads, and uh, yeah, it's it's going to be horrible for them, horrible. And if you can't relate to that, if you're a parent and you can't relate to that, then you've got something wrong with it, because the shoe could just as easily be on the other foot, and then people blame guns and how easy it is to get guns. It's not that freaking easy to get guns. I think the people are definitely the rest of the world um, don't they see all our guns, and I guess to me it's reasonable. Like the our access to firearms here in the states to me is reasonable, maybe even a little less than reasonable, only because I've seen the kind of the dark side of the government to a small varying degree. Like when Katrina kicked off, that was a dark point. And then when I went down to North Carolina. Let's see here, what we got? Even teenagers running around with them. But I agree, a father figure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like the difference having a dad around. I mean, I'm not saying I my mom was single most of my life, um, and she did a great job. Like she did the best job she could, right? Um, but having a male figure, especially for boys, but having a male figure around is absolutely essential in my opinion. Um, so I can see a little bit of a difference, even when I go hunting for a few weeks or whatever, if I deployed or whatever the case was, um, come back and I had to reel my kids in a little bit, and you know, um, and their mom's awesome, she's a great mom. But there's a bit of a difference there, Um, so yeah, that's just gonna be, that's gonna be hard, and they're gonna have a ton of animosity, and nobody can blame them. Nobody can blame them. I hope they do right by the family. I really do. Um, I don't know how that dynamic works. I just don't know. I'm ignorant on it. I don't know how it all goes down, um, but yeah, yeah, it's rough. I was reading some of this shit on Facebook and Reddit and stuff, and man, people are just gross. People are just nasty, sick individuals. They're like, oh, we had it coming, and he's spewing rhetoric and hate and da 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 da. I haven't seen any of that, but and then his support for the Second Amendment. You know, he said that some people have to die in order to keep the Second Amendment or something like. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like disgusting, just absolutely horrid and disgusting. Um, but anyway, I don't know. I'd rather just go hunting and stuff. Everybody wants to live in a place that you don't have to worry about certain things. I wonder who. So we're down to one. Okay, well that worked out. Was Oh no, back two. But yeah, anyway, so the hunting, so tent, I'm gonna take my little wood stove, and it's a titanium little ultralight wood stove. It's excellent, excellent little thing, and you can get that son of a gun glowing, and it'll flat run you out of the little tent, and it does a pretty good job on that bigger tent. And then the pad that I use is an X pad, and it's like the down mat light or something. It's not terribly heavy. It only My only problem with it is it takes like a little secondary bag to pump it up to put air in it. But I've had it down into the teens, and it's pretty good. And I've got a really jacked up back and all that, and I sleep it pretty good. Now Mark sleeps a hammock better than I do. I don't. I mean, hammocks are okay, but I'm not crazy about them, and I just don't sleep them very well. And I got 1 year, I don't know, a few years ago, I picked up these hammock underquilts, and it's made by Hang Tight, and I got them on Etsy, and they're phenomenal. So if you like hammocks and you're going to be in some cold weather with your hammock, so that year it probably got down into the 20s where we were elk hunting, and yeah, I'd say it got down into the 20s in Colorado, and like the first week of September, and yeah, that hang tight it's excellent, super lightweight. And the first night we pulled into the parking lot, we walked out in the morning, and Mark just kipped under that, and see like a kip, and that how you say nap in the UK, right? So he kipped under that, and didn't complain about it. And so the hang tight on Etsy, I don't know if they sell them anywhere else, but they're top notch, really good. I got the 20 degree or something like that, and I think it might be a bit warmer than that. And so they're excellent quality. I think it was about $100. Um, and then we've got the jungle nest. I'll typically like buy a little buy a little bit of gear before we go, and always have, almost like a little Christmas type deal for for us. And yeah, so but yeah, um, probably taking the Win Mag or the PRC. I haven't shot that PRC much, so I don't know. I shot my 308 Tika today, and I did not shoot it very well. I've got the SWFA 3 to 15 on it, and the first gen, and the glass is just terrible. I'm not. I really just don't like it. Um, the mechanics of it and everything are great, but the glass is it's. I mean, I know it's mostly me, my eyes, but the glass really isn't very good at all. And it's not a cheap scope. They're about 700-800 bucks. But I feel like at this point there are way better $700 to $800 scopes out there, um, especially glass wise. The Trigicon, I've got a Trigicon Credo on my PRC, and it's quite good. Like it's way better all around than that SWFA, and I think they're about 800 bucks, 900 bucks, something like that. Um, Not like I say it like it's nonchalant. I just like this is my jam. Some people do cars, some people do fishing, boats, whatever. This is what I do. This is kind of my jam. Um, so I don't have a problem spending the money on good gear or what I think's the best or the best of what I can afford is really what it boils down to. Um, and everything. But anyway, so we might I don't know. I might go hunting with Dan, elk hunting with Dan if I can. I hope so. I love elk hunting, especially in the rut. If you never elk hunted the rut, Jesus, especially if you live in the east and you don't have the elk, you want to go hunting the rut is just super cool. I've been really close to them, and yeah, they're just an outstanding critter. They taste good. They're awesome to watch. Like their whole husbandry thing, the way they would operate, just outstanding. And when they start bugling and slobbering and it's just pissing all over themselves, you see them like, it's crazy. You get some of these bigger bulls and you watch them and they just like completely piss all over themselves. So when you shoot them, they just freaking reek. Um, they smell awful. Um, but yeah, yeah. And then you can smell like you get a cow, shoot a cow, you can smell like where her back is, like her rump, and like that lower back section and where they've been getting mated or whatever, or like whatever it is, and like sometimes they'll test the waters, and it's fun to watch, but because and then some of the younger bulls they don't know what to do. There she is. I'm on sidekick. My buddy. What are you doing?
Come down and hang out.
Yeah. What you got in your pocket? What'd you bring? Oh, you brought your headlamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you put the birds up?
I'll go check.
Brutus is probably up at the house.
All right.
Is Mom home?
No.
Okay. She's the best. She's amazing. So, she's starting to shoot and stuff a little bit, which is, to me that's like I've succeeded as a father. If they can shoot, like Liam is next level. He's got more natural talent, more natural shooting ability than anybody I've ever seen in my life. But he started shooting really early. But like today, at 25 yards, he was shooting a bow, one of my older bows, and like a 20-year-old, 25-year-old bow, and hasn't been touched. Like other than putting a new sight on it, it still gets the same string on it. So it really needs to be revamped. There's a lot of things you could do to make it better, and he was cutting fletching at 25 yards with it, cutting the veins right off of it, and he's just he's good. He just freaking gets it. And then with a rifle, he's just insanely good. Shotgun, pistol, it doesn't matter what it is. The kid just crushes it. And Lily's starting to, she was getting into it pretty good there for a while, and then she kind of petered out of it. She's into some K-pop Korean boy band or something. I don't know. It's kind of like the NSYNC of today, I guess. I don't know. And, I'm obviously not into it, but it's probably just a phase and stuff, just like it was when all the girls and what was New Kids on the Block. That was what it was. New Kids on the Block. Let's see, what was that? Yeah, New Kids on the Block was what it was, not NSYNC. It was New Kids on the Block when I was a kid, and man, everybody was crazy. All the girls were crazy about those dudes. So I'm sure this will peter out just like that did. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. So she's getting into it, which is good. And that makes me happy. But anyway, yeah, as far as all the hunting stuff goes, I don't know, I'm gonna take my fly rod. We're gonna be real close. We're gonna be right on Sunlight Creek and close to the Clark Fork of the Yellowstone River, which Lily's been to, or been close. Lily has several Yellowstone trips, right? How many you got? 2 or 3? 3. 3 Yellowstone trips. And been real close to bison, right? Like 15 feet in the bed of the truck. Not stupid out on the ground. So, let's see here. And that was it.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty girl. What are you doing?
I wanted to hang out with you.
Yeah. I just had, what you call it on here? I'll turn this off. How do you do this? Oh, I remember somebody popped up, unless it's your phone. Was that you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, 2. Oh, look, there it pops back up. So,
Sent to 9.
okay. So, hello everybody, or if anybody's there. What's your thoughts on Bigfoot? I've been watching documentaries ever since I was a kid. Do you believe it at all? Yes, I do. I do believe, actually. I think it's extraordinarily plausible that there is a bipedal ape type critter running around. Um, like especially up in like northern Canada, Alaska, all that stuff. Like if you ever get a chance to go to Alaska too, um, it is unbelievably untamed. It's vast beyond belief. So Alaska is bigger, way bigger than the entirety of Europe. I think it's like 2 times as big as the entirety of Europe. Um, if that puts it into some perspective, it's enormous, um, and it's extraordinarily rough country. There's nothing there. It's got. Were you stealing a root beer? You little witch. Um, but yeah, I believe that it's totally plausible that something could be up there and we just haven't seen it. Everybody says, "Well, we haven't found these skeletons," and da 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 da. I don't think that matters. Like you get into those places, you've got all the predators. You get your bear. You got, black bears are crazy scavengers. You got coyotes, wolves, mountain lions, grizzlies. Um, and then you get into the coastal areas. You've got coastal brown bears, which are, you know, 12 to 1,500 pound huge animals. And then you get up further north and closer to the coast, you've got polar bears. Polar bears aren't going to have really anything to do, I don't think, with like because they mainly stay in the tundra, and you can see for freaking ever in the tundra. Um, but yeah, I'd say in those boreal forest areas where it's really thick and very very sparsely populated. I mean, those stories had to come from somewhere. Um, so yeah, I think that it's plausible, and I don't think that we're the only ones with those stories. I think like Russia's got some of those stories and stuff like that too. Um, but yeah, I think it's possible. Um, you know, but I mean, you had Gigantopithecus was bipedal ape, and that went extinct uh, like a couple thousand years ago or something. Could just be a very small surviving group of those. I don't know. There was a story. If you've seen 13th Warrior or read Michael Crichton's Eaters of the Dead, that's a mixed story between Beowulf and um, the potential uh, kind of um, running into Neanderthal and leftover Neanderthals. It's a fascinating story. Yeah, I noticed that different states got different names for them, like whistling. Yeah, skunk ape, all that stuff. Yes, Sasquatch. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the woods, but uh, I mean, the stories I grew up like with my grandparents, it was like haints and banshees and things of that nature. Uh, More like the supernatural kind of stuff, like I mean, when I was a kid in school, I read about uh, Bigfoot and stuff like that. And then a guy I was in the army with was a Bigfoot hunter, and like just to look for them, not to go kill them. Um, but I think part of the problem is that you get so many people. Um, yeah, you get so many people that just build hoaxes around it, and then it kind of takes away from it. It's like crying wolf, the little boy that cried wolf. Um, so I don't know. I think it's completely plausible. Honestly, there's especially when you get up far north, it's there's not much up there. There's definitely not a lot of people. Um, I don't know. What do you think, Will? You believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot and stuff?
Obviously.
Yeah. Figured. So she's going to be, are you still going to be a wildlife biologist?
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe she might discover it, you know? And this is root beer. Before somebody claims I'm letting my daughter have beer, it's root beer. It's the best root beer there is, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's amazing. What's it? What? How do you say that? Sprecher? Like Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Sprecher? Sprecher. It is beyond good root beer. Um, but yeah, my neighbors buy me that stuff. So actually, I need to put a little bug in Swanee's ear, but I'm running low. Um, but yeah, I do. I think Sasquatch is definitely possible. Um, and then you've got the whole. Well, somebody asked me one time, like, if I saw one, while I was hunting, would I shoot it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't even tell anybody I saw it.
Me neither.
Because I wouldn't want to. Because then if some asshole went in there and shot it, it would be my fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't even tell. I would just keep it to myself. I don't know. I'd probably tell you, and then we go look for it. But beyond that, probably not. I wouldn't tell a bunch of randos. So, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
We've been doing house.
Hmm?
We've been doing up house, listening to your K-pops.
Roblox.
Roblox. I hate Roblox. Yeah. I don't know what else. Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you factor in the cave systems in America, especially up north. So yeah, we've got a ton of cave systems. I don't know what the cave system situation is in Europe, but we have we actually just went to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, so I think it's still the largest cave system in the world, or one of for sure. And then we've got like Luray Caverns is about 40 or what 45 minutes from here, an hour. Um, and we've got a bunch of smaller cave systems. Um, and then I've been to like Carlsbad Caverns, and you've got tons of cave systems in there. That's in New Mexico. That's another must see is Carlsbad Caverns. That's a super cool place. Um, it's in the middle of nowhere. Um, but yeah, that's a whole shit ton of cave systems there. Um, and but Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is huge, but it's like nothing's living in there. I don't think. I had to seen that stuff. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's completely possible that something is flying under the radar. You know, but even where I'm going hunting, it's like there's not much out there. Um, yeah, there just isn't much. Um, and then you take into account like if I lived out in the woods and I didn't want to be found, it, I mean maybe with dogs, like dogs are pretty slick, but outside of dogs, you're not gonna find me. Um, and they've been doing it for like seemingly thousands of years. You're not gonna find them. They're the best at what they do, sort of thing. Not gonna find them. Anyway, you want to go to the house?
Sure.
Well, anyway, thanks, Mr. Soldier from the UK, for hanging out and shooting the shit for almost an hour. It was fun. I appreciate it very much. I like I do it to I talk to myself a little bit. So, no, go ahead, baby. So maybe one day you'll make it out to the States and get to see everything. It's pretty cool. If you do come, uh, maybe you'll stay. I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty awesome here. So as bad as it seems on the interwebs and the news and stuff, it's pretty good. So I'm pretty grateful. But anyway, so that's it. That's what we'll do for now. If I don't know how this works, I think you can drop messages and stuff, but I'm not entirely certain. So questions, comments, awesome. Thanks very much.